Hello, Dan here. So today's episode is all about a new hobby which I kind of fell into by accident, which is geocaching. I've just started. I'm not very good, but I think I'm going to tell you all about it. So let's get on with the episode.
What have you got to say to the world?
A couple of weeks ago, I went to look for the lady in the woods. You can see that video linked above, I guess, and I'll link that in the description. So I also went back a couple of weeks after that and took some other friends to show them the lady in the woods, and accidentally we found a geocache. Now that got me interested in geocaching, and last Monday Jen and I and the boys tried to find one in Mereworth, where I live when I'm in the UK. Now that didn't really work out as well as we'd hoped. Have a look for yourself. We are in Mereworth, Mereworth Church, and we are looking for geocache. Now geocaches are small boxes hidden that you have to find using the GPS coordinates. And this one's quite complicated. So one of the really interesting things about this church is that here is buried the first person to ever be awarded the Victoria Cross. So the Victoria Cross was given to soldiers who showed extreme bravery on the battlefield, and here it is. This is the gravestone of Charles Davis Lucas.
Five times G, so another 5.
5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. So we've had lunch. We've recalculated the coordinates, and we're getting close. So it should be just along here. Yeah? So this is the GPS signal. 9, 8. Very, very simple.
Nazis. I hate these guys.
Okay, so when Jen and I and the boys were looking for the geocache in Mereworth Church, Mereworth Church is about there, and we followed that cache, and although we didn't find it, it brings us to a position which is pretty much there. So after the one in Mereworth that we didn't find last Monday, I also went to look for one which I thought might be easier. It's called the Forgotten Gate. It's a location I know, so I went back there. It's a beautiful old derelict gatehouse. When I went to look for the other geocache, the one which is the Forgotten Gate, that is along the A228 here, and then off towards the old church and round here, and that position of that old gate is about there. So this is Mereworth Castle, just here, and Mereworth Church is here, and the second one we went to look for is just in that position there. So there were some clues I had to follow, and also I didn't find that. So I'm going to need some help. So I'm off to see Uncle Roy, who has been doing geocaching for a long time, And hopefully he's going to tell me a little bit more about how to find them and how to geocache properly.
It's basically a small hidden container which is hidden by a geocacher for other geocachers to find, typically out in the countryside or in an interesting spot. Sometimes just a small little container the size of a little film container, sometimes a big box with lots of hidden goodies inside. Well, they range from little gifts like a rubber or a pencil sharpener up to the more technical things like a tracker, and that's the most important one. And typically they've all got inside them a piece of paper which is a list of all the people that have found them. And when you find a geocache, you sign your name and you date it, and you go on the website and report the fact that you found it, so it's logged electronically,
Right.
but it's also logged on a little bit of paper.
Okay.
So you must take a pencil with you, because very often the things are too small to get a pencil in.
Ah.
You don't find them for a whole host of different reasons. Either you just can't find them because you haven't discovered the right place. On the website you're given a coordinates, map reference to find it with, and you're also given a clue. But even so, you might just not find it,
Right.
because it's too difficult. Some geocaches are very easy to find, and some are more complicated, and some are very especially difficult.
Right.
But once again, on the website it tells you how difficult things are,
Okay.
so you can decide to go for an easy one or a more difficult one. Sometimes you don't find them because they've been destroyed. So if people that are not geocaching stumble across one of these things, very often they don't know what it is and they move it or they take it away.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they're just damaged by nature itself. Quickly realised that it would be more fun to make my own,
Yeah.
and set a puzzle so that people
Uh-huh.
can find them. And I decided to set what's called a multi, which is a 3-position geocache, with a clue to find the first one, and then when you, instead of finding a notepad to write on in the first one, you just get a clue which leads you to the second one. So you must find the first before you find the second. And in the second one, once again, another clue to take you to the final destination. Because I work with wood, I love to make things which were a little bit of a puzzle. So I drilled some holes in logs, for example, and then put the log back in position so that you really had to, although you found the log that the geocache was hidden inside, you still had to find a way of opening the log up to get inside it.
Really?
Yeah. So I enjoy those sorts of puzzles myself.
Yeah.
So it was good to set a puzzle for the other people.
Yeah.
And very quickly after doing it and publishing it on the website, people began to find stuff. There's quite a competition in being the first person to find a geocache when it's firstly set.
Right. Okay.
And within hours of me putting it on the website, people are out looking for it, trying
Wow.
to be the first
No
to
way.
get their name on the list. So yeah.
Wow.
I think in Luxembourg maybe was my most interesting one. That I went on to Luxembourg to visit a friend and began to talk about geocaches, and this person had never heard of a geocache, and I said, I bet that there's one near to where you are now, without any knowledge that there might be, but they are all over the world, so
Right.
I think all over the world, and quite remarkably so. And so we looked it up on the website, and yes, there was one within 200 metres of her house, and we went off and found this, and it was quite a difficult one.
Right.
So it took a lot of finding.
Wow.
But yeah, it was quite an interesting find, and the fact that it was an unknown
In a different country.
in a different country, yeah.
Brilliant.
And within this local area, I've discovered all the ones that are within walking distance of my house, which have been set by other people.
Right.
Some of them under logs in the woods, some of them in railway arches, some on motorway bridges, in all sorts of interesting and wild places. So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, I think it's an excellent hobby because it gets you out into the countryside often, gets you out in the fresh air, it gives you a reason to walk somewhere, and you end up visiting places you've not been before.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a good thing to do, I think.
So there we go. That's the end of our episode of geocaching. I'm going to carry on looking. Hopefully I'll have more luck with some other ones, and I'm sure I'll scatter them through different videos. So don't forget, subscribe, like this video if you want, and what else? Comment. Why don't you comment? If you do found any geocaches, that'd be great. Write it in the comments below. Yeah, it's good. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.
Good afternoon, madam.